This video is with regards to the rules that if you follow them should put you on the other side of Exodus. It should put you there when the Messiah returns. This video is mainly meant for my children. Although others can watch them, those in faith could use these same rules. They could also use the same rules to apply to their children. I make this video mainly because I don't intend to be in the camp for many days during the Exodus. The holidays, the festival days, I'll be in camp. But the rest of the days, I hope to be outside the camp because I would be unclean to be inside the camp doing the work that needs to be done during the Exodus. And so, these are the things that you're going to need to put you through. 1, you need to read the Bible, specifically the Torah, each day because you don't really know all the rules of the Torah. It's more than just reading and knowing the rules, and it's more than just doing the rules. It's also wanting to do the rules. Most of the things are going to be very difficult to break the rules of Torah while you're on Exodus. You're not going to eat unclean because the only chance you have, there are 2 food choices you're given, which is quail and manna. And quail is given before Mount Sinai. And those who eat the quail will die. So realistically, when you see quail given, even if you can't stand the taste of manna, which is most likely because you're unrighteous at the time, if you can't stand the taste of manna, don't ever think the quail is going to be better because the quail is a death sentence. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. The second thing that you're not going to have, obviously I'm providing it, but everybody needs to be wearing their tzitzit. So, obviously each day when you wake up, make sure it gets on you. And you need to go outside the camp. There's a distance involved of 2,000 feet outside the camp before you can poop. And you have to bury the poop. And don't grumble about it. You're not going to have enough toilet paper to go 3.5 years. It's just not going to happen. We don't know, but it's possible that once we go on manna only as a diet, once you're on it for a little bit, it's totally consumed by the body and you don't defecate. So it may only be for a short period of time. It doesn't matter. It's the rules. You do it outside the camp because if you do it inside the camp, the Creator won't be inside the camp and your life is going to basically be a very short duration because everybody else realizes you could have caused them tremendous harm. You need the Creator in the camp with you. So, those are the early rules. If the manna doesn't taste good, then it's really because of your attitude. And by attitude, I mean the more you desire to do the Torah, the better the food's going to taste. And the better things are going to be for you. So when you wake up, read the Torah. During the day, read the Torah. And before you go to bed, read the Torah. And once you get into it, you'll love it. So it's not really, oh wow, what a command. It's the easiest thing you could possibly imagine. You're going to love doing it. But that's how you should be. Messiah says, if you love me, keep my commandments. So, the way you show the love is to keep the commandments. And when you do that, when you show him the love, he's going to return that. It's going to be easy for you. Most of the things, it's going to be almost impossible to violate Torah during the Exodus. You're not going to have the food issues. Your clothes will have been picked out, so by me specifically. So, you don't have to worry about combining linen and wool. obviously you'll know the Sabbath. Everybody's going to be there. And he's going to make it easy for you not to violate the Sabbath because you're not going to be able to cook. You're not doing any work anyway. So, certainly don't go gather firewood. Just kind of go with the flow with how other people are doing it. Go with the flow, but don't join the other people because you don't know who the other people are and they could get lost. And that's a really strong warning. If you have a question, come outside of the camp, seek me. Go to a Levite, and they will give you the answer on something. But just because you have a friend in the Exodus and they start doing something, don't join in with them because you don't know what they're doing. It's an experience level that you really won't have for my children. Obviously, those in the faith are a lot stronger. But remember, there's a minimum of 10% that will be lost during the Exodus. That's an absolute minimum. And could be much greater than those who are lost. I don't want you to be among those who are lost. Now, let's talk about how you can get lost. Almost exclusively, it's grumbling, complaining. And if you grumble against the Creator, you don't have a long lifespan. If you grumble against the leadership, you're not going to have a long lifespan. You can look at the leaders and say, wow, I could do a better job. It doesn't matter. They're the leaders. We are in a monarchy. We are not in a democracy. It's inherited situations. The Creator chooses the people to put in leadership, not us. That's presupposing that we have a greater intellect than the Creator of the universe, and that doesn't exist. So he's going to choose the people that he wants in. It doesn't matter that they do a bad job. Ask if you can help them. If you think, oh, you can do a better job, then ask if you can help them. And if they say yes, then you can help them. If they say no, then it's a no. Don't grumble. Don't push against authority, because those are by far the major reasons that you will be lost. It goes without saying that you're not going to do anything in the pagan way. If you think you're going to worship Christmas, you're not going to exist long. If you think you're going to do something on Easter, you're not going to exist long. Don't follow other gods, and those are other gods. That's mainly what I want to kind of give to you as my gift, again, considering the fact that I hope to be outside the camp the whole time. And just because you're clean does not mean you can't camp outside in the unclean areas. So you're always free to come camp by me and to get instruction. And that goes for anybody. They can all come out. I just can't come in. Because if I'm unclean, I can't go past that line. I can't go into camp. But again, you're always free to come and ask me on things, and I suggest you do. And if not me, the Levites. Don't just trust the leadership, even of your own tribe, and you'll be in the tribe of Asher for my children. Because we don't know, some of the leaders, specifically the tribe of Simeon, are going to be lost. There's another thing that's very dangerous in the Exodus, and that is my own actions. You are responsible for your own actions. As adult children, you are responsible for your own actions. However, if I am lost, then you are lost. So if you're going to do a prayer, at the end of each one, say, make sure that Dad continues to follow. Because if I don't, if I'm lost, because I was the one that has sight, then all of y'all are lost as well. Everyone I bring in is lost. So I hold my entire family in my hands. If I screw up not just for me, but for everyone in my family. If you screw up for yourself, because you weren't given sight. So it doesn't hurt. Don't do anything other than say, God, give Dad the instructions not to, not to follow anyone other than you. And that should get you through. And it's really kind of simple. There are many rules of the Torah, but you're not going to have almost any of those rules when you're in the Exodus. You're not going to be a farmer, so you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to be a Levite or a priest, so you don't have to worry about that because we know what your tribe is. It's the tribe of Asher. You're not going to be going through any of the eating provisions, including the provisions of, if boiling the mother in, or the lamb in the mother's milk, or the calf in the mother's milk. None of those things are going to apply. It's going to be very easy on the rules during the Exodus period. And so use the time of the Exodus to really know as much as possible so that when the Messiah returns, you're ready. Because once the Messiah returns, you're put out in the world. And I think that will really help you. Do everything with a joyful heart. If you do, things will taste better. Life will be better. He's going to bless the ones who are wanting to love him, and love is defined. Love is defined as doing what the other person wants and desires. And the only other thing that you have a worry of is with regard to gold. If you are a warrior, and in the first battle is first fruits to the Creator. If you see something in there and you want to touch it, if you want that, because it's a beautiful piece of gold, maybe you find a gold bar worth $50,000, and you say, wow, I want this, that will end in your death. If you see some beautiful coat, let's assume that it's freezing and you didn't bring a coat, you'll have a coat. So don't worry about that. But let's assume something you really see and you're like, man, I really need this. If you touch it to keep it, you die. It can't leave that city. If we give you an instruction to do, hey, load this gold in this truck because we're going to take it to the Messiah later on, then do that. Don't put any of that in your pocket. That is how you will die. If it is something belonging to the Messiah, it is to the Messiah, and you cannot touch that or try to think, I'm going to keep it. Now, again, if they tell you, load it here to there, load it here to there. But don't try to even think, I'm keeping any of this, because it'll result in your death. Again, my children, I don't really see an issue on that because they don't care about anything monetary. But it's a factor. That's really the only way you can screw up. The other thing is going to be terminology. Certain things that you have been trained your entire life are not wrong according to the Torah and to the Bible. You have been told your entire life that slavery is wrong. The mention of the word slavery is wrong. We're going to have slaves. It's what it is. Don't just say, oh, I don't want them. Okay? If the Creator has given you a gift, and slaves are a gift, then you accept that gift. I'll tell you, I probably will have some stuff to buy some other slaves because they're such a gift. And I know that so many of our people think that's a wrong thing to have. Well, I don't want it. What the Creator gives is good. And if the Creator is saying, I'm going to give you this, don't reject what the Creator gives you. It could be a very bad thing. But you are allowed to sell a slave. That's in Torah as well. You can sell them. But my children will not. We will be buying. The other aspect is, and the only other aspect that is a concern is, if I get the job that I most desire, I will not be able to keep any gold. And so if I then say, okay, I want you to get the gold because that I have picked up, I want you to get it and I want you to put it in the truck. But you don't get to keep any of that. Don't ever think you can touch the gold. Because I know I can't touch the gold. It doesn't belong to me. If I get the job that I want. Now, if I'm a regular soldier, I can get gold. I don't want to be a regular soldier. So I want to be one of the ones that cannot keep the gold. So if I'm a regular, I'll tell you, I'm a regular. You can keep it. You can put it in your tent. You're fine. But if I'm not the regular, if I'm somebody who's has a little authority and cannot keep the gold, you can't keep it because I give it to you. If I give it to you, I'm not giving it to you. I am giving it to you to put in a storage so that it will go to the Messiah. That would be the Messiah's gold. Don't even think about it. It's a death sentence. So those are pretty much the indications of getting you through the Exodus. If you do these, which are mainly don't grumble, and remember when you are first going to the Exodus, and I may not be with you at that time, remember when you get to Egypt, you'll go by boat, and when you get to Egypt, they're going to arrest you and try to be sold as slaves. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it at all. In fact, don't just think, okay, I'm getting out of here. When you leave Egypt, don't leave empty-handed. You cannot steal, but you can ask for the money. You are directed to say, I want this or this because you've arrested me and tried to sell me as a slave. I want gold and I want some silver. Get it. Don't leave there empty-handed. He tells you not to. So don't do that. Okay? But don't get concerned about that. When you're on the way from Egypt to Mount Sinai, the quail are going to come. Don't you dare think about eating them. If the manna tastes bad and the water is bitter, the first water will be bitter. Okay? Don't worry about it. Just chug on through. Don't worry about it. Don't eat the quail. Don't grumble. That's what it is. Don't grumble, no matter how things are going to be. At some point in time, you are going to be incredibly sick. It's an incurable illness. Don't grumble about it, because what you don't know is that is actually the way that the Messiah is healing you and giving you a long life. He's taken out the poisons that have accumulated in your body since you were born and before you were born in your mother's womb. He's getting rid of that poison. He's cleaning you out. And it's going to be an incurable illness. You're going to feel rotten, but it is healing you in a way that you could not imagine. Don't grumble about it. Be thankful for it. If you had a cold and on the other side of the cold they gave you $1 million, would you really grumble about the cold, or you say, thank you, let's get this cold over with? Think of it the exact same way. He's going to do this to you. He's going to put that illness on you, and that illness is a total blessing. Don't you dare think this is a bad thing. The illness should be celebrated. Because once it comes on, it's healing you in a way that you'll never imagine how it's healing you.